Hello, this is Cesar with On the Mission Trail, and today we're going to talk about self-driving vehicles. According to Stanford, about 90% of motor vehicle crashes are at least partially human error, which is a key statistic when taking the replacement of humans with computers into account. Computers don't get distracted or drunk, lack the desire to act recklessly, and won't get tired as long as they have an available current. The aforementioned categories account for several thousands of deaths every year. Will an AI driver help or hurt accident rates? Evidently, some don't think so. Recently, there have been several attacks on driverless car company Waymo in Chandler, Arizona, a city near Phoenix. From pelting them with rocks and slashing tires to brandishing a pipe and even a revolver, there have been 21 confirmed attacks on Waymo cars since they started testing their self-driving vehicles in 2017. It may seem extreme, but these combative residents may not just be Luddites with entirely baseless actions. In March of 2018, a woman crossing the street was fatally struck by one of Uber's self-driving cars in Tempe, Arizona, marking the first death of its kind. This took place too close to home, only slightly north of Chandler, and some parents say they've had close calls with the near collision between their child and a Waymo vehicle. Residents say that they never asked for their home to be a testing ground for these experiments, even though the officials are allowing it, which raises the question, are self-driving cars really the way of the future, or would people rather conserve their current way of life? We're here at the Salinas Sustainability Fair, and I'm here with Steve McShane. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm the chair of the 2019 event. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. As a Salinas Valley community, the principles of sustainability are on display. The cool thing is we've got electric vehicles that people can test drive for the first time. Many people, electric vehicles, it's new to them, it's a new concept, and so having this easy opportunity to touch, to get behind the wheel, combined with all the speakers, live music, live art, it really has been a success today.
Would you own a self-driving vehicle?
Would I own a self-driving? Yes, I would own a self-driving vehicle, absolutely. In fact, I own a Tesla now that can self-drive part of the way. It's got autopilot. So the first time I was ever in a car that had autopilot, I was in my test drive of my Tesla, and I was driving, the salesperson was beside me, and we hit this point in the road, and I was like, okay, double-click that little lever. All of a sudden, the car is driving itself, and I'm freaking out. Because we were in the passing lane, and there was like one of those concrete barriers on the left, and I was convinced this car was just going to plow right into the barrier, and the salesperson was just cackling hideously in the passenger seat, knowing what the experience I was having, and the car was sure enough navigating. And the salesperson at the time also said, the autonomous system within Tesla, it's also feeding information about that driving route back, to the big brain computer somewhere all the time. So the autonomous experience in the Tesla, they say, is getting better and better all the time.
I've been behind the wheel of a Tesla X that has autonomous driving and seen it in action. I think that's where it's going. I have an 11-month-old boy, and I would say that by the time he gets to the age of driving, he probably will either be in an autonomous vehicle and or an electric vehicle.
I've got a 9-year-old daughter, so I put kids in my car and show them how the car drives itself, and it's a definite ooh and ah moment for all of us still, because it's really amazing technology.
I look forward to that. Yeah. I think that's going to be one of the best things to ever happen to the country. I think the accident rate is going to go down by a huge percentage. So, we drive around all the time and see people doing silly stuff. Computers won't be doing that. Yeah, I always quote the figure of 35,000 deaths a year on the United States highways due to automobile accidents, and I bet you that goes down to 1,000 or less. It depends on the level of autonomous driving vehicles, but they're not going to make the same mistakes that humans do.
I own a vehicle that has somewhat intelligence. It's a vehicle that gives me inputs. It lets me know when there's people on either side of me. If I don't turn my turn signal on and try to put it into a different lane, the steering stiffens up a little bit and gives me warnings, and I'm very comfortable with that. So when the autonomous programming comes along, I imagine I'll take advantage of it.
Would you take a driverless taxi?
Would I take a driverless? I would definitely take a driverless taxi. Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest things about autonomous vehicles that I don't know that we talk about enough is safety. And interestingly, human beings are capable of making mistakes, and human beings are capable of getting confused. And not to say that electronic systems are perfect, they're not, but we can reduce a significant amount of error by taking the human equation out of driving?
Yes, I would love to take a driverless taxi, and I think that's going to be the way of the future. I think everybody's going to have basically their own electronic vehicle that they sublease with another group of people, which will effectively be a taxi service that they pay a subscription to. That's my own particular thoughts. I don't know if that's going to come about, but that's what I'd like to see.
So you don't think people like personally own cars very much anymore in the future?
I don't think there'll be a real reason to at all. No. I think it'll go to where you have your electronic vehicle will be, you get an app on your phone, you'll schedule it to take your wife to work, take your kids to school, to go pick up your laundry, stuff like that. And then it just parks itself and charges itself, and then you use it again when you need to.
Would you be comfortable in a self-driving vehicle?
I'd be comfortable in a self-driving vehicle. I believe in the technology. I think it's there and it's getting even safer.
That's a real good question. I'll bet you at first I'd be a little tense. But once I got used to it and I became confident that that it was safe, efficient, and economical, then yeah, I don't think I'd have a problem with it. It would take a little bit of getting used to, though. I imagine myself sitting in a driverless car and watching the oncoming traffic and the conditions around me, and I'll bet you that my hands would be aching to grab the wheel. My feet would be pushing a phantom brake pedal. But like anything else, after a while, and I grew confident in the technology, then I'd be able to relax.
Some people don't think it's awesome, though. I'm actually glad you brought up the Waymo situation, because in Arizona, a lot of people really are not a fan of it, and they've been physically attacking the cars. Have you heard about that at all? What are your opinions on it?
I have heard a little bit about it. I'm not deeply conversant in it. Part of me wonders how much of that is about self-driving car technology versus it's about we're not sure why this one company is here versus any other company. So I think, like so many things, this is kind of one of those key moments where the technology is changing, and if I'm not familiar with that technology, if I don't trust that technology, I might feel fearful of it, and then I might feel negatively about it. I think it's hard to know what to make of people physically defacing a car, because, vehicles get physically defaced all over the place. It's happening right now here in Salinas. We're just not thinking about it because it's so commonplace. So anytime anything happens to an electric car, it draws a lot of attention because we think it's a marker of something really notable and unique. And, people messing with cars on the road, I have certainly had that experience in a traditional car. Probably most people have in some way or another had that experience. So I don't know what to really make of that.
So almost all car accidents are driver error. Do you think replacing them with a computer will make roads safer?
It's interesting. Some folks believe computers are the be-all, end-all. Certainly, they do what they're told to do. That doesn't mean it's a perfect world. So errors and accidents happen. I think under the guidance of computers, cars actually can present greater safety.
Some people think there's no replacement for human decision making, while others are of the opinion that a computer can not only take the place of the human mind, but supersede it. It's a subject that continues to grow in the public consciousness as AI progresses. Will they replace us completely, or will there always be human-operated vehicles? This has been Cesar with On the Mission Trail. Thank you for watching.